What's up everybody, D-Man back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla the Planet Eater news and updates. Chapter times in the description below. This one will be, I'm going to do a lot of these in sequence here because I've got a lot to cover with the Planet Eater. Can't fit it all into one video, so we're going to do a couple of these. This is just the first one, and I won't be reading comments on this video just because I know there's inevitably going to be spoilers for the movie. I know Planet Eater's out in Japan. It came out yesterday. I'm not going to be reading the comments because I don't want to know anything about it more than I already know. That being said, let's jump into this, showing off some art. First, we have some art from Shino Anibo. I have no idea how to say that name. It's a really cool Godzilla vs. Ghidorah piece. This might be my favorite art piece of the episode. I think it looks amazing. We got some GNA stuff. So first off, we have a GNA City on the Edge of Battle picture. It's a vulture picture. Beautiful. It looks great. Then GNA did a Godzilla Earth next to the Titanic. Bit of a random choice, but I guess he was just in the mood. It looks pretty cool though. He also did one that was a portrait of Scarlet Godzilla Earth that looks insane. You know, you guys know how big of a fan I am of Scarlet Godzilla Earth, so I think it's awesome. And finally, he did a really cool one of Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah. This looks awesome. I don't know if I've shown this off before. I don't think I have, but it looks really cool. Maybe I did show it off and I just don't remember. Either way, here it is again because it's awesome. Okay, so here's something that a lot of people have been talking about. It's the reveal of King Ghidorah's final form in Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle. Now, as it stands, I don't know if this actually appears in the movie or if this is just something that was a concept art that they were toying around with. I know they made like a Mechagodzilla figure despite Mechagodzilla not being in City on the Edge of Battle, so I'm not sure if Bandai actually goes off of what's in the movies or not. That being said, we have our first look at King Ghidorah's final form via these Bandai figures. You know, it's interesting to say the least. The Bandai figure itself kind of looks like a banana. It doesn't look great. That is, until you get some better looks at it. I'd like to give a shout out to one of my subscribers. He goes on Twitter by the name ZIYCEPSREWUFBH9. It's a Japanese name, but that's his English handle, so I don't know what I'm supposed to call that. Either way, I'd like to give a personal thank you to him because he gave me some great images of this new Bandai King Ghidorah. It looks really cool. It genuinely looks cool once it's not in the promotional photos. Like once you actually see it out, I really like it. First of all, it looks fairly Ghidorah. It looks pretty new, but it still retains Ghidorah's look. I like the wings. I really like the paint on the back here. I think the fact that he has two legs that stick out behind him that look like tails is great. It's interesting that he doesn't actually have a tail. He just has those legs that look like tails. But I like it because it looks similar to the previous Ghidorahs. It looks super alien, which is something Godzilla 154 and I have been talking about. This looks super alien. I really like the fact that it doesn't look like something from our dimension because it's not. This is King Ghidorah. He's an interdimensional being. And for that reason, I really like the fact that this design is very wild and different than anything we've seen before. I wouldn't actually say it's different than anything we've seen before because as it's been pointed out by loads of people before, and most recently Gamoru Island, this new Ghidorah does look strikingly like the Servums from Monster Planet. That being said, I think it's different enough to stand on its own, especially in context of the movie. There you go, that's your official release of Ghidorah figure. Bandai also did a secondary release Ghidorah figure. This is their Golden Ghidorah figure, their movie version, I think that's what it is, their movie monster series Ghidorah. It's got the classic Showa paint job, or like your standard Ghidorah paint job, but on this new Ghidorah design, so it doesn't look like the one from the movie. It looks pretty cool. I like this as well. In addition to that, we also have this new Bandai Golden Godzilla Earth. I don't know what the deal with it is. Andres Perez, Kaiju Noir, and I have been talking about this. It seems that there was an initial idea for Godzilla to achieve some sort of golden perfect form during the end fight with Ghidorah in Godzilla the Planet Eater. Minor spoilers here to anyone watching this video. He doesn't achieve that golden form. It seems that that was scrapped for potential budgetary reasons or the fact that they just didn't have enough time to fully develop that idea, so they wanted to leave it on the cutting room floor because there's no point throwing it in if they're not going to develop the idea. That being said, though, there is still lots of promotional material featuring this version of the character, and by lots, it's not a ton, but they have theater exclusive versions of the character that they are selling in Japanese theaters as goodies that go along with the movie. We'll talk a little bit more about these theater goodies in a minute, but they have these Golden Godzilla goodies. They've had pictures of Golden Godzilla, artwork of him, and now they have a Bandai Golden Godzilla figure. He was definitely supposed to achieve this form at one point in the movie. It seems that in Godzilla the Planet Eater, they replaced Godzilla's Golden Perfection form with Scarlet Godzilla Earth, who we've seen in Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle. It seems like they did a little retcon to make it so that his Scarlet form is no longer his self-destruct form of him trying to keep his body together when he's got the EMP running rampant inside of him. It seems that they changed it to it's a defense mechanism whenever he is put in a position where he feels like he's gonna die. I would have preferred the golden form. I would have preferred some of like Ghidorah's interdimensional powers to wear off on Godzilla, creating this perfection form of Godzilla Earth. That would have been really cool. Sadly, we're not getting that. But like I said, there are theater goodies for Godzilla the Planet Eater that they are selling in theaters. First off, we have a couple little promotional photos that they gave out. It's a little handout thing. I don't think everyone got this, but some people did. Interesting to see that it features Kamacuras here in full glory. I'm assuming we're going to get a flashback with him in Godzilla the Planet Eater, because why else would he be on here? That wouldn't make any sense otherwise. It's not the same shot from Godzilla Monster Planet, I don't think. So pretty cool that he's there. They also had like cups and keychains. The keychain's really cool. I really like the keychain. They had a whole bunch of little picture goodies and that crossover art with Gundam, which we'll talk about more in one of the next videos. They had the Golden Godzilla Earth and a whole bunch of other little stuff. So you know what? Even if these anime movies aren't that well loved in Japan, I'm glad to see that we're still getting stuff for them. I like that. I like that we're still hanging in there. Toho and Polygon Pictures, they're still putting effort into these movies in terms of appeal, in terms of promotional stuff, toys, etc. They really went all out for Godzilla Monster Planet, and they didn't with the other two, but I still like the fact that we're getting this. So we talked about the Bandai figures earlier, the Bandai figures of Ghidorah specifically, and you know what? Yep, that Ghidorah is officially a concept design. I don't know if it's in the movie. It might be in the movie, but at the very least, it isn't just made up for the toys. That's all I can say, because we have official images of our full-bodied Ghidorah. Here you can see them. These are from, it's pretty much the art of Godzilla the Planet Eater. It's like a pamphlet that they give out when you go see the movie in Japan, that they show the full development of Ghidorah, and in it they show his final evolution stage, which is when all three heads combine into the winged dragon. I would assume that this is in the movie because we have that silhouette shot from the trailers, so it would make sense, but even if it's not, I think the design here is pretty cool. I would be disappointed if this design doesn't wind up in the movie, because why would you design it and then not put it in the movie? I like this design. It's not Ghidorah to me. It doesn't look like Ghidorah in the sense that this is going to be like my new, oh yeah, this is my new favorite Ghidorah kind of thing. But I'm glad that we're getting a new version of the character, because we have Legendary's version of the character right around the corner, which is going to be a very traditional version of Ghidorah, it seems. He'll be a very extreme version in terms of his power scale, but it seems that design-wise, he's going to be a traditional-looking Ghidorah, whereas here, it's like, yeah, we got the anime for a reason, let's go crazy with it. Along with those, we have some official promotional photos for Godzilla the Planet Eater that came out, featuring a few characters. This first one features Captain Maru. Pretty cool. Don't really have much to say about it, but there you go. There's your Earth Captain, or your human captain. He's definitely dead. We also have new images of Martin. I really like Martin. He's one of my favorite characters in the anime. Our last one is a picture of Miana. I think she's looking at Haruo, probably falling from the sky. I know he does that at one point in the movies. Who knows? I have no idea. Finally, we have an image of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. Pretty cool. Just to know that they're actually going to fight in the movie is exciting, because Godzilla didn't really fight Mechagodzilla. He hasn't really fought enemies in the anime series up to this point, so I'm glad to see that he's going to actually fight Ghidorah. Along with the original promotional photo, we have a bunch of promotional photos featuring the fight between Godzilla and King Ghidorah, and they also have images of Scarlet Godzilla Earth versus King Ghidorah, which makes me happy, because I was worried that Scarlet Godzilla Earth would not make a return in Godzilla the Planet Eater. I'm glad he is returning. Finally, we have a picture of Yuko with a nanometal exterior on her. You know, she's like Michael Myers. I guess you just can't kill her. disappointing. I would have liked to see that character come to a definitive end and sitting on the edge of battle. It would have made the stakes feel a little more serious. There was an interview with Godzilla director Hirouki, I don't know how to say his name, Sekashi, something like that. He is one of the directors of the Godzilla anime. This isn't the interview that's very controversial. We'll get to that one in a future news update. But in this one, he mentions the possibilities of spin-offs for the Godzilla anime series, saying that he expresses interest in them. He says he, quote, wants to continue with this moment, end quote, meaning he wants to continue the story in the form of spin-offs or whatever else he can have. They'll probably do that in the manga because there's no way they're going to do it with movies. There's no real need to do it, and Toho seemingly only wanted to do the anime series to hold people off until King of the Monsters came out. I would not expect another Godzilla anime, at least not part of this series and not right away. He said he created the new Ghidorah as an impression of the original character with the intent of it being the perfect version of a multi-dimensional being after thousands and millions of years of evolution. So I guess this is like a radical Ghidorah. If he just kept flying from planet to planet destroying things, this is what his species would wind up as. The director also mentions how this movie was supposed to be Haruo's story. He wanted to make this movie Haruo's battle against Godzilla over all else, so he placed the emphasis on the human characters in this movie because that's the point of these anime movies. They weren't supposed to be monster movies, they were supposed to be human stories with monsters as the backdrop. I like that about them. I do. I know a lot of people don't, but I don't really care. I like that about them. He says the hardest struggle in making this movie, The Planet Eater, was trying to keep Haruo's story and conflict at the forefront of the series rather than letting Godzilla and Ghidorah take center stage, which is the exact opposite of what most fans want to hear. But you know what? This series clearly isn't made for the majority of fans. This is clearly made for a small niche of people, and I'm okay with that. You know, I'm okay with the fact that a lot of people don't like these anime movies, just as long as people can learn to respect the fact that I like them. That's okay. You know, we can all like our own things. We don't all have to like the same thing. That'd be really boring. He also mentions how in this movie, because he wants to keep the Godzilla and Ghidorah story in the background, he made Godzilla and Ghidorah more symbolic for Haruo's internal struggle than anything else. That way it would still be Haruo's story even if Haruo wasn't the main character or wasn't on screen all the time. From what I've heard, this movie seems to be Mephi's movie, which I'm very down for because I really like Mephi's. It should be interesting. Sekashi then mentions a little bit about how he loves the Showa era Godzilla movies. Not necessarily all of them, but he mentions a few of them, such as Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, as one of his direct inspirations, which is funny because he famously, or infamously, I guess, did not put Mechagodzilla in City on the Edge of Battle, did he? He put a city in the City on the Edge of Battle, and Mechagodzilla was nowhere to be seen. Finally, here we have a Godzilla, the Planet Eater TV spot. It's only a couple seconds long. Not much to say about it. You know, I've seen it. It's all right. In addition to that, XAI's final song came out for the Godzilla anime series. XAI did Whiteout and, whatever their other one was for City on the Edge of Battle. It wasn't that good though. I remember I didn't really like it as much. Thought Whiteout was better. That being said though, their new song is definitively my favorite of the bunch. I think it's really good, very mellow compared to the others. We got a music video for it featuring lots of footage of King Ghidorah destroying the spaceship up in space. We don't see anyone die, but I'm sure that most of them will. We already basically knew that would happen. We've talked about it in news updates before. There's also some footage of Godzilla fighting Ghidorah, which is nice. It's cool to see that Godzilla apparently can't fight Ghidorah. Ghidorah is so powerful that Godzilla tries to sweep him with his arms, and Ghidorah just phases right through him. Speculation here, I don't know if this is true. My guess would be the only way Godzilla can attack Ghidorah is to turn himself into Scarlet Godzilla Earth, and then he'll be able to physically contact Ghidorah. Pretty interesting little music video. Go check it out if you want. That's all I got for today though. There's like I said, there's a lot of Godzilla the Planet Eater news to cover, so I'll definitely be covering it more in the future, a couple days from now or whenever I get the chance to record again. Until then, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. D-Man out.